and forming another group or aligning with another group is a very done thing in Pakistan. Like some disgruntled jihadis of TTP went and made ISKP. So this alignments and realignments is a very, very done thing. And yes, that point I take. Makran Coast, Gwadar area and all the districts in the south, yes, there the presence of Pashtuns per se is not as pronounced as in the areas towards the north of Balochistan. So that point I take, but realignment within the terrorist is a very done thing. And coming down to your question, the TTP now increasing the weapon system, modern weapon systems which were left behind by the US in Afghanistan, getting into their fold, and Pakistan establishment, that is primarily ISI, and Pakistan army not able to control them. If you recollect when General Musharraf was in China, and one of his intercepts with the DGISI or the talk with DGISI was intercepted by our intelligence agencies, in which he had made a statement which went something like this, कि जिहादियों की टूटी तो हमारे हाथ में हम कभी भी मरोड़ सकते हैं. That means we can close the tap on the jihadi movements anytime we want. Now gone are those days. उस टाइम पे जो भी टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थी उनकी टूटी ISI और पाकिस्तान आर्मी के हाथ में थी, एग्रीड. लेकिन आज they are free flowing tube wells which have got no control by ISI or the Pakistan army when it comes to controlling them per se. ये इनके अपने ही बनाए हुए लोग हैं, ये इनके अपने ही बनाई हुई organizations हैं which are now turned against them. And coupled with this, I will come back to that point again. The economic failure, the diplomatic failure, the political instability. Mr. Imran Khan, the backyard being KPK, the problem happening there, the new army chief coming in, making tall claims which are contested by the TTP, Mr. General Bajwa still having some hold in the establishment. All these are very, very hot mix. We need to understand the Pakistan internal turmoil with a different lens. It's not an easy country to understand.
Not just that, we don't even know whether the establishment itself understands
so
the turmoil, internal
I
turmoil
go with
within
the
Pakistan.
point.
So that's where it is.
Absolutely.
But is this entity fast hurtling towards balkanization? That remains another larger question, given the way things are flowing in that part of the world. I have run out of time, so I thank all our panelists. Thank you very much for your insights. Clearly a state of flux over in Pakistan. We wind up this edition of The Right Stand. Stay with us. Brass Tacks follows.
Good evening, everyone. You're watching Brass Tacks. I'm Shivani Gupta. Congress leader Salman Khurshid has drawn an analogy between Lord Ram and Rahul Gandhi, and that's created another political furore, with the BJP accusing the Congress of hurting Hindu sentiments. While the Congress likens Rahul to a yogi, BJP reminds Congress of its anti-Hindu stance on issues in the past. Another flashpoint related to the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So has Congress crossed a line, or is the BJP rattled with the Yatra? We debate that in just a bit. First, the story of the day.
आप तो जानते हैं भगवान राम की खड़ाव बहुत दूर तक जाती है, तो कभी कभी खड़ाव लेकर भी चलना पड़ता है. हमेशा भगवान राम नहीं पहुंच पाते हैं, तो खड़ाव लेकर चलना पड़ता है. तो भरत उनकी खड़ाव लेकर चलते हैं. तो खड़ाव लेकर हम उत्तर प्रदेश में चले हैं. उत्तर प्रदेश में खड़ाव पहुंच गई है, तो राम जी भी पहुंचेंगे.
Congress leader Salman Khurshid has sparked yet another storm. This time comparing the Bharat Jodo Yatra to Ramayana and Rahul Gandhi to Lord Ram. The reference was to Rahul Gandhi wearing just a t-shirt on a chilly Delhi December morning while visiting the samadhis of former prime ministers, for which Khurshid likened Rahul Gandhi to a monk.
वो superhuman है. हम इतने जैकेट कोट पहने हुए हैं, वो टी-शर्ट में निकलते हैं. बताइए, हम ठुठुर रहे हैं ठंड में, वो टी-शर्ट पहने निकल रहे हैं. एक योगी जैसी, जब उन्होंने कही दिया मैं तपस्या में हूँ, तो वो तपस्या कर रहे हैं.
The BJP accused Congress of hurting the sentiments of Hindus.
हिंदू समाज की, और केवल हिंदू समाज की क्यों, पूरे भारत के हर नागरिक की भावनाओं को आहत करने का काम कांग्रेस पार्टी करती आई है और कर रही है. क्योंकि भगवान से तुलना करना, किसी के इष्ट से एक व्यक्ति की तुलना करना अपने आप में एक दुस्साहस है, और जनता इनको जरूर सबक सिखाएगी.
Seers also took offense to Khurshid's remarks.
रोड पे आप देखो ना, ठंड में कई बेचारे गरीब और पागल जो है वो नंगे घूम रहा है। कम कपड़ा पहनने से राम होता तो ये जो और तपस्वी हो जाता, तो ये नंगे जो घूम रहे हैं जो पागल, तो ये तो सिद्ध कहलाएंगे।
But Khurshid remained defiant.
देश उसी रास्ते को चुनेगा जो देश को स्वीकार है, नागपुर का रास्ता नहीं चुनेगा।
Rahul Gandhi has been accused of playing the soft Hindutva card on multiple occasions. Last month, he visited the Mahakaleshwar temple in Madhya Pradesh's Ujjain. His party has called him a Shiv Bhakt and a Janaudhari Hindu. So is the Rahul Ram analogy simply an attempt to woo the Hindu vote bank?
Let's go across to the guests joining us. We'll be joined by some political representatives in just a bit. Arun Anand, First Post Consulting Editor, and Sanjay Jha, formerly with the Congress Party, political analyst, joining us on the show. I want to understand from you, Sanjay Jha, where these analogies are coming from. And ironically, it has come from a man, Salman Khurshid, who has likened Hindutva to Boko Haram and ISIS in the past. Today, he uses or invokes the name of Lord Ram to talk about Rahul Gandhi and his quote-unquote tapasya and his yatra. Is Congress taking it a bit too far?
Shivani, good evening to you and my fellow panelists and to your viewers on CNN News 18. Let me start by first puncturing the BJP's hypocrisy, which I think is now reaching a repugnant level, almost insufferable to bear. And I will give you 3 or 4 instances that exposes my friend Gaurav Bhatia, if I'm not mistaken, was he the guy who was in the press conference?
Yes.
And the entire BJP top brass as being the biggest fraudulent political players in the country. Just hear me out. I'll give you 3 examples, maybe 4. Mr. Narendra Modi is the 11th avatar of Lord Vishnu, said a BJP leader, a spokesperson by the name of somebody called Avat Wagh. He is the incarnation of Lord Ram, said Mr. Kamal Patel. This is not an insult to Lord Ram. To equate Narendra Modi to Lord Ram is not an insult, of course. Rahul Gandhi is an insult. Narendra Modi is not. Number 3, third example. He is like God. Narendra Modi is like God, said a BJP chief by the name of Adesh Gupta. I don't know these gentlemen personally, but they have all featured very prominently in the mainstream media for their outrageous, outlandish and obtuse comments comparing Lord Ram. I'm a very proud Hindu, by the way, and I felt extremely mortified and insulted that Lord Ram was being compared to Mr. Narendra Modi, who is, let's be honest, a regular politician, who was even denied a visa to go to the United States of America. Recently, you even had a celebrity wife of a former chief minister who called Mr. Narendra Modi the father of the nation or the father of New India. So the BJP needs to take a deep breath and stop fooling the people of this country. Now, I want to make one other point. I don't agree with anybody equating gods with politicians. I'm a politician myself, but I will tell you, all politicians are flawed. All politicians have chinks in their armor. They are regular human beings who are made larger than life because of television. Everybody is pretty much a normal human being. Some of them extremely corrupted, communal and cunning. So I would decry and also condemn anybody comparing Rahul Gandhi with Lord Ram. That's wrong. But I have given you instances to prove that the BJP
has done the same.
Double-faced party. Yeah, absolutely.
That BJP has done the same. But why does
the done worse?
No, I'll come to another question I want Sanjay Jha to answer, which is about why is the Congress party even doing this and what is it to gain from it? But I'll come to that part in just a bit. Let me first settle the political argument that is going on. Our political representatives are joining us, Radhika Khera from the Congress party and Gopal K. Agarwal from the BJP. Gopal K. Agarwal, everybody is pointing out to similar statements likening Prime Minister Narendra Modi to a god or a deity in the past by BJP leaders, members, spokespersons in the past as well. So why is today suddenly BJP acting like there is some great insult to Hindu religion that has taken place? Is that not hypocrisy?
No, the thing is that we have to understand the whole, the purpose of what Congress is doing. They have been undermining Hindu religion at various points of time just to do their appeasement politics one point of time. At times when they find it in their benefit for their political issue, like in Gujarat when Rahul Gandhi said that I wear a Janeu, I am a Shiv Bhakt. And they have denied the existence of Lord Rama. So they did everything under their bag to stop the construction of Ram temple at Ayodhya. They filed an affidavit that Ram is a fictitious character in the Supreme Court when this Ram Setu issue came. So the thing is that they have been undermining Hinduism at many point of time just to go for their politics of appeasement and really communal politics.
But
one thing.
you can
Second is,
no,
let
Gopal
me
ji.
just 30 seconds, one more. I want to ask Salman Khurshid and Congress leader, will they compare their leader to gods in other religion also? They have the audacity to do that. Why they undermine always Hinduism? Why
But
they undermine
sir, exactly that
Hindu
question
gods
is
and
being
goddesses?
asked. Now I can understand that you are saying that Congress is hypocritical because it never supports quote unquote Hindu causes, including the construction of Ram temple. It opposed it, and we know the role that Congress has played. But it now today wants to invoke Lord Ram. I can understand that political argument. But when you say that Hindu sentiments are being hurt by this, is that also not a hypocritical argument? Because BJP has done that in the past.
No, the thing is that they have been. What is the quality that Rahul Gandhi possesses that he should be compared to Lord Ram?
But sir, that is an
He is on
individual's
bail.
decision. No, Salman Khurshid considers Rahul Gandhi as good as Lord Ram. That is his personal opinion, na? You don't have to agree with it.
The thing is that he is on bail. Rahul Gandhi is on bail. He has so many issues with regard to his allegations. What qualities does he consider? Because he is moving in a t-shirt, he is Lord Ram. The thing is, what qualities does he possess? He should elaborate them. Why he considered Rahul Gandhi as Lord Ram?
उन्होंने तो बोल दिया, but whether that analogy in itself works or not, that frankly I don't think there's any explanation required. I don't think, as Sanjay Shah was saying, any mere mortal should be compared to Lord Ram, and certainly not somebody in politics, because that comparison will always fall short. It will always fall short.
Yeah, so it is not only, there are 2-3 things we have to consider. One thing is that Congress never believes in the existence of Ram.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take that to our Congress representatives. When the BJP does it, it is still coming from a certain...
We don't find any qualities which can be compared in Rahul Gandhi to Lord Ram. The third is, will they do it the same comparison with other
gods? Okay.
Religious goddess? These are the 3 things we are questioning.
Okay. Let me take that one by one to Radhika Khera. Radhika Khera, the first allegation the Congress gets it that you don't actually believe in Hindu faith and causes, but when it suits you, when it is, when it comes to playing to the gallery and possibly even wooing Hindus in this country, then you invoke Ram.
It's very ironic how the BJP spokesperson thinks that comparing Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Vishnu ji to
I have 3 questions on this comparison.
Sir, let her finish.
So why are you so rattled? We understand the Bharat Jodo Yatra has rattled you people, but please, let's maintain some decorum on the
Gopal ji, I'll give you more opportunity.
Let me just add to what Sanjay Jha said. He gave you 3 statements, one from January 18, 2022, one from 1st November 2022, and one from 13th October 2018. Those were the 3 BJP ideas. I will give you another one from January 29th, 2020. Narendra Modi is Lord Ram, Amit Shah is Lord Hanuman. Who said this? Shivraj Chauhan. Who is Shivraj Chauhan? He is the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister. I'm sorry, but I take offense to Lord Rama and Hanumanji being compared to someone who was a Tadipa. Someone who is responsible for all those people who died in Gujarat because it happened under his watch. Someone who is responsible. How can you compare Lord Rama to someone who cannot fight for justice for Bilkis Bano? Do you know who Lord Rama was? Because a man gave objection and said that Sita Maiya वहाँ पे नहीं रह सकती, वो रावण के वहाँ पे होके आई है, तो Lord Rama ने राज धर्म निभाया. And what did he do? He left everything for his people.
Okay, I think we should not go down the road of who can be compared to Lord Ram. Nobody can be.
Why not? Why not?
Nobody can be.
Following the footsteps. We are following the footsteps
That's
of Lord
fine.
Rama.
Then you are following the footsteps. You are not Lord Ram. You are following the footsteps, but you are not like Lord Ram.
And how are you comparing Narendra Modi and Amit Shah?
No, so that's fine. But Radhika, come to the question I am asking.
I take objection. I am a very staunch
You
Hindu
should
and I
have
take
objected
objection
that point
to my
of
God
time.
being insulted. I'm sorry.
Why didn't you object?
But why didn't you object then? Why are you objecting today?
And Because the Bharatiya Janata
this
Party can say
comparison
anything, they
is
will
in
come up with.
response to
Sir, I did
BJP.
not speak in between. I'm sorry, but this is a very sabhya debate. Let's continue.
Okay, but Radhika, can I refocus you on the question that I am asking? Can I refocus you on the question that I am asking? The question
why this is a problem today? Let me tell you that. Why the BJP and the spokespersons and they're coming out with all these kinds of chatu karita words and everything in their press conference? Because the fact is that they're rattled by the support that the Bharat Jodo Yatra is getting across the country. They are rattled by the fact that Rahul Gandhi ji went and paid homage to Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has never been to the samadhi of our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru ji. He never respects the chair he sits on. So they have to deviate from everything that is happening because the world, the country, every person in India is seeing through what the Bharatiya Janata Party is actually. And what Prime Minister.
But Radhika, one second, one by one. Gopalji, I will do the anchoring, please. Radhika, you didn't answer the question I'm asking. All of that is fine. But the accusation...
Now coming back to what Salman Khurshid
No, Radhika, please listen to my question. Please focus on the question I'm asking you. The allegation the Congress faces is that you don't actually respect Hindu Astha. Salman Khurshid is the leader who called Hindutva like ISIS and Boko Haram, as if it has perpetuated some great terror across the world like ISIS. But when it's convenient, you invoke Hindu faith. And the other question that Gopalji is asking is, you will never take the name of any other god in vain, like this. You will not say that he is so and so.
कि हम कौन से भगवान जी का नाम लेंगे नहीं लेंगे और आप लोगों को बहुत तकलीफ हो रही है आई एम सॉरी पर हिंदू धर्म में ये कहीं नहीं सिखाया जाता कि किसी और धर्म की महिला के साथ जब अन्याय हो जैसे गुजरात में बिल्किस बानो के साथ हुआ तो पूरी सरकार चुप्पी साध लेगी दैट इज नॉट व्हाट माय हिंदुइज्म इज एंड दैट इज नॉट व्हाट दे portray themselves to be the brand ambassadors of Hinduism. I'm sorry, they put every Hindu's face head down in shame. So when coming back to what Salman Khurshid ji said, that's okay. हम नहीं कहते कि हमें अपने माँ बाप में भगवान दिखते हैं, हमें गाने भी बने हुए हैं, तुझ में रब दिखता है. When someone, if you respect someone, you say that हमें आपके अंदर भगवान दिखता है. और मुझे तो I'm telling you, I see God in every fellow citizen, every fellow human being. That is what our religion is all about. What is the harm? अगर उनको उसमें भगवान दिख रहे हैं. लेकिन यहाँ तो कहा जा रहा है that Modi ji is Hanuman, Modi ji is Ram ji, he is the 11th avatar of Lord Vishnu, and continuously they don't have objection. And where has ever Hinduism taught कि लोगों को मारो, अन्याय करो, राजधर्म? You remember, but Vajpayee ji had asked Modi ji to follow Rajdharm.
Okay.
He's not following.
Can I go across to Arun Anand now? Arun Anand, the other larger question is about peddling of South Hindutva. You know, there is been a long debate of how Congress uses certain motifs and, let's say, emotional issues from Hinduism from time to time. Do you think that this is yet another attempt at peddling soft Hindutva, and will it work for the Congress party?
I think, you know, Congress is pretty confused in the sense that, you know, first you have to see the larger picture. What has happened after Rahul Gandhi has taken over the reins of the party? What has happened is that the Congress has moved from largely, it was earlier used to be a centrist party, or it used to be a slightly left of the center party. But there was also a strong section of people within the Congress who used to be right of the center also. So there used to be, you know, quite a balanced kind of a thing. But after Rahul Gandhi has taken over the reins of the party, the Congress has moved towards radical left. Now that has, you know, impacted the electoral fortunes of the Congress also, and they have dipped, as we have seen, you know, over the last 7-8 years badly. And now, time and again, in between, the Congress is continuing on that path of the radical left, but in between, sometimes they try to do the course correction by making, you know, these kind of statements. One. Second is that what Salman Khurshid has said, it doesn't surprise me because, you know, the culture of it is coming, what he has said is not coming out of the commitment or he really feels very strongly about it. It's a culture of sycophancy. We have seen that has happened, you know, when Devkant Barua had also said Indra is India and India is Indra. So that culture of sycophancy has been there in the Congress, and that has been proved to be the bane for the Congress. Third thing is that, you know, the people of this country have largely given the mandate that they feel that Bharatiya Janata Party is truly associated or committed to the cause of Hindutva. And Congress, when it tries to do these kind of things, it becomes, you know, a very poor Xeroxed copy or a carbon copy kind of a thing. So,
but it actually cannot go the complete mile. It cannot go where BJP goes.
So the thing is that because BJP has had, its ideological ground very clear, they have stood by it. In their manifesto also, they had talked about the Ram Janmabhoomi temple, about uniform civil code, and they have tried to implement that. So I think it's a larger, basically, issue where Congress, in between, from being radical left, they sometimes try to, move towards, a little bit of towards center or towards right of the center, because of the pressure which they feel
because of today's Indian polity.
In the electoral politics.
Yeah.
So
Indian
I think
polity has shifted a little bit towards the right, and Congress also, as a player in that politics, has...
They're trying to do that, but somehow that cannot happen, basically, because it is traversing on that path, and you need a kind of an ideological commitment. Congress actually is bereft of any ideology right now.
Okay,
it is actually
so that's exactly the charge that I was mentioning, that when it comes from the Congress party, does it come from a place of seriousness and actual, a faith in Hindu and Hindu values, or does it come just as, using it as a prop from time to time? I want to take a couple of points that Arun Anand made to Radhika first, and I'll go across to Sanjay Jha next. Radhika, the question that is also asked is that the Congress party has been for the last 7-8 years mocking quote-unquote BJP supporters as Modi Bhakts. If you listen to what Salman Khurshid said, the manner in which he said what he said in reverence to Rahul Gandhi, it almost sounds like Rahul Bhakti as well. So are you not also indulging exactly in what you oppose in the BJP today?
One thing is called that you've seen the kind of bhakti that the Bharatiya Janata Party bugs to. You've seen it on social media. Hurling abuses at a political opponent or another political leader or someone who does not agree with their ideology is the definition of a Modi Bhakt. And you, I'm sure, must have also faced those trollings on social media, and everyone has, who is not a supporter of the Bharatiya Janata Party or is a neutral patrakar also. So nobody from the Congress is hurling abuses, or neither any Congress supporter is hurling abuses at anyone who supports Narendra Modi ji. We are living in a Sabhya Samaj, and everybody is entitled to their own political choices.
That's not
and we
true,
are not
actually.
enemies. We are not Hindustan, Pakistan. It's not that the Congress is India and the Bharatiya Janata Party is Pakistan and we are going to take each other's head off. We are in an environment, in a democracy, where you have the right to choose your political leader. But if I support a certain political party, my bhakti towards that one particular leader cannot give me the power and cannot give me the right to go and abuse or say anything that they want to someone else.
Okay, all right.
So that is
I
the
want
kind
to
of
bring in
fanaticism
Gopal
that we see.
Krishna. Just one second. Gopal K. Agarwal, your response to what you've heard from both Sanjay Jha and from Radhika now, that, BJP should be the last person to lecture on this. One, because you have likened your leaders to gods in the past. And second, because, if you feel your leaders are good enough to be compared to a deity, then so feels the Congress party.
One thing is the Congress doing this in response to BJP? This is the basic question that I also want to ask. Second thing is, I don't find anything of qualities in the Rahul Gandhi which can be compared to Lord Ram, because he is on bail. And the third point is, the thing is, the Congress has been abusing the Prime Minister and left, right and center. The language that they have been using to the Prime Minister, they are saying that BJP abuses their leader. The way they have called our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, Amit Shah ji, the way they are not even respecting democracy. We are a democratically elected Prime Minister. We are a democratically elected party. For this is the second term that we are in the power. They have not even, their mindset is not accepting BJP. So they are disrespecting even the democratic setup. They are questioning EVM. They are questioning the language they have used for the Prime Minister. And they are talking about never abuse. And the thing is that their basic faith in Hindu philosophy, Hindu religion is not there. They have been questioning Ram. Therefore, they have no right to compare this and
to hail Ram. Okay, all right. I'm also getting some updates, and we'll get to hear from Salman Khurshid in just a bit.
Communal thinking. They are communal politics.
One second,
they are playing communal politics. They compare their leader to Lord Ram, but they cannot compare to other religious god.
Okay, but that's a separate debate. Why you can't compare him to any other religious faith leader or god? Because that's a completely different debate. Let's not get into that, because it will open completely different can of words.
Have to be
but you also compare your leaders to Hindu deities only, na sir? So the question doesn't arise. But I want to go across to Sanjay Jha on the larger question that the Congress party is facing. Bharat Jodo and its message aside, its success, its import, its result and its impact aside, is it also not true, Sanjay Jha, that the Congress party's messaging is indeed a little bit confusing? From time to time, they do these things. They will present themselves as true believers of Hindu faith. But there are, scores of other things that happen in between those instances where the Congress has been unable to, find its space amongst the Hindu voter today. On top of that, it is also losing its Muslim voter base. It's now stuck in the middle where sometimes it doesn't know whom to woo. And it's losing both.
Shivani, the last I heard, India was still a secular country based on its Indian constitution, unless the BJP has some plans to amend it. Number two, very critical, that end of day, what is this question of minority appeasement? I want to ask this gentleman, Mr. Gopal Agarwal, who's normally a very moderate person but sounds a little bit rabid today. Obviously, he has to defend Narendra Modi, who was called Nero by the Supreme Court for looking away when people were dying in the Gujarat riots. But the truth is this, and this is something that he needs to answer. Pragya Singh Thakur uses the most dangerous diabolical language of weaponizing people against, all kinds of threats, supposed, phantoms. And your Prime Minister, and I will say your Prime Minister because he belongs to your party, he's my Prime Minister because I'm a citizen of this country, is silent. Can you imagine a Prime Minister silent when a member of Parliament from Bhopal threatens very brazenly people from another community? It's out there in the open. For God's sake, Gopal Krishna Agarwal, go home and take a look in the mirror when this debate is over. And the second point, Shivani, very important.
No, but you didn't answer my question.
I'm answering your question. Religion is a private matter. Okay, but I am forced because of the BJP to make a confession on your program. And this confession I need not make. I don't have to defend myself. But I am a proud practicing Hindu. I even have a small temple in my home. But who is the BJP and the RSS? Who is Narendra Modi and Amit Shah? Who is the RSS, Mohan Bhagwat or Gopal Krishna Agarwal to give me a certificate of my true Hinduism? Or
then who is the Congress party to tell us what is Hinduism and Hindutva? That goes both ways, Sanjay Jha.
Let me answer that. The Congress party actually doesn't have to prove its credentials, and that's one of the reasons why I have been upset with my party. I have always been saying,
Shivani, one second, one by one.
Gopal, do not interrupt me. I have not interrupted you. Please be silent. You will get your chance. Shivani will do that. She's highly democratic. My point is, Congress should wear secularism with pride on its badge, a badge of honor, because this country is got to be, stopped. This whole political discourse of Hindu-Muslim binary needs to stop. Because the one who's playing the ultimate appeasement, and I call it the majority appeasement politics, is the BJP. They are actually.
But you are denying, Sanjay Jha, that Congress played.
Teaches me love and
no, forget about the Hinduism debate. Are you denying that Congress party for many, many decades did indulge in minority appeasement? I'm asking you this because it had a Muslim vote bank. There are other parties, not BJP today, who are accusing the Congress party of using Muslims as a vote bank, but never really truly delivering for them. And they are the parties who criticize the parties like Congress today that you've used this for decades. The question I'm asking you today is that is the Congress's messaging confused? It doesn't know whom to woo and it's losing both voter bases.
Well, let me tell you, it is losing votes for reasons other than, what the reasons you have given. Okay. But let's think about it. Out of the 17 general elections held in India, the Congress has won 10 of them.
Yes,
Gopal Krishna Agarwal, you are an economist. So let me ask you a question. क्या कांग्रेस 10 चुनाव जीत सकती 17 में? क्या कांग्रेस भारत को 55 साल तक चलाई है सरकार बना के? यदि सिर्फ 14% मुसलमानों ने उनके लिए वोट किया, क्या आप भारत के उन हिंदुओं का अपमान नहीं कर रहे हैं, तिरस्कार नहीं कर रहे हैं जिन्होंने कांग्रेस को समर्थन दिया है? आज आपका
Sanjay Jha, by that logic, I want to take your argument further. By that logic, mocking those who vote for the BJP today is also a problem amongst the Congress ecosystem. Let's accept that.
Well,
I raised that issue with Radhika. She feels we don't do it, but that's not true. You look at social media today, those who support the BJP are called all kinds of names. Let's be honest about it. So nobody can sit on their high horse on this issue. But I'm running out of time. Gopal Agarwal. No, sorry, Sanjay. Gopal, 1 minute, please.
I'll give a brief answer. One thing is that when Sanjay Jha is taking this debate to the intellectual level, I want to ask him, was this country not secular before Indira Gandhi entered the word secular in the constitution? It was secular. The thing is that the Congress has been playing the politics of appeasement for vote bank politics. That is very clear. They had been talking about Muslim appeasement, upbringing Muslims. But you see the Sachar committee report, what it said. After 60 years of Congress rule, Muslims were the most sufferers. And now under Narendra Modi's rule, everybody is getting the benefit equally, whether it is any religion. The thing is, Congress has been giving lip service to the secularism and playing communal
politics. I can't
politics.
quite get into the
That is
debate
what
of
the question
secularism
is.
today because we were discussing point
And
fixing.
this is part of their communal politics.
Okay,
that
fair
now
enough.
they
You've
are
made
trying
your point.
to
Gopal
change the
ji.
state to compare their leadership to Lord Ram. This is also part of their communal politics now.
Okay, can I give a final word to Arun Anand as well? I've got only barely about 30-40 seconds left. Arun Anand, the question I ask once again is, in the run-up to 2024, do you see, as you are saying, some effort from the Congress party to come back to a more centrist position? Rahul Gandhi visits the Samadhi of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Several people are reading a lot into that. I'm not sure whether Salman Khurshid's comment is an attempt towards that, but since you criticize the way the Congress has gone under Rahul Gandhi's leadership, now he's vacated the Congress chief's position. But do you sense that there could be a course correction from them?
No, I don't think there will be a course correction for them, and I would keep it very brief. I think people like Salman Khurshid are proving to be major asset for BJP. He had done earlier also, in the Batla house encounter case, a similar kind of a thing. And the more Congress tries to, do these kind of things, there will be a more pushback, from the Hindus, Hindu society. But last thing which I want to say is, see, when people vote, they not only vote on the basis of, whether it's a Hindu or a Muslim, that aspect of Hindutva is there, but ultimately it's a combination of, the delivery on the ground, the organizational cadre, the ideological positions which you have taken. So there are multiple factors. So Congress is lacking all these factors. It doesn't have an ideology. Its organization is in shambles. It doesn't have an inspiring leadership. So going ahead in 2024, I think these are very cosmetic kind of, statements which do more harm to Congress and bring more benefit to BJP actually.
All right, I leave it at that. One thing is for sure, that the Bharat Jodo Yatra, for many, many reasons, is grabbing headlines. We'll wait and see what its impact is eventually for the Congress party's fortunes. But speaking of this entire episode over Salman Khurshid's comments, there's a very serious and concerning piece of news coming in. A bounty has been announced on Salman Khurshid's head. But in the meantime, when the Congress leader himself was asked the question of how this bounty was announced on his head post his comments, he's saying that he's praising Lord Ram. Will that comment also backfire? Let's listen in.
एक महंत राजू दास नाम के एक शख्स ने ऐलान किया है कि आपके खिलाफ सर काटने का 21 करोड़ रुपया इनाम भी रखा गया है।
इस बात पे
कि आपने
राम की तारीफ करने में, भगवान राम की तारीफ करने में मेरा सर कटेगा। अगर भगवान राम की तारीफ करने में मेरा सर कटता है तो कट जाए। भगवान राम की तारीफ की है ना, उनको क्यों इतनी शिकायत है भगवान राम से? क्या बात है? भगवान राम को सीमित करते हैं क्यों अपने पास? भगवान राम सबके हैं। और अगर वो ऐसी बात कहते हैं तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम को उन्होंने आज तक ना पहचाना ना जाना।
Well, looks like this battle will continue, but moving on to the other big story that we're tracking. Over to an on-ground investigation by CNN News18 from West Bengal, which has found grave irregularities in the PM Awas Yojana and its beneficiaries list. People who didn't deserve the aid from the government to build a pakka house, people who already have good houses or don't qualify for the scheme on other parameter, having their names on these lists. Now, as 17 lakh such fraud names have been deleted by the West Bengal government, the political battle is increasing, with the BJP alleging that the fraud was perpetrated with the knowledge of the Mamata Banerjee-led TMC government.
In East Mednipur, we found several people who made it to the list of beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. But here's the twist. They currently live in big, lavish houses, but are also in the running for a scheme providing homes to the rural poor.
You can see behind me a palatial house, a very big bungalow. This is located in East Mednipur of Bengal. But this house, the owner of this house, according to the list, has also got an registration in Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Now that is the big issue before Panchayat election for both the side.
Shubhra Santra's name was there in the list but has now been deleted.
আমার মানে শ্বশুরের 3 ছেলে আমাকে এবারে আলাদা ভাই এখানে বড় ভাই আর মেজো ভাই থাকে আমাকে আলাদা করে দিয়েছে আমাকে এই জায়গাটা দিয়েছে এখন তারা এখানে রান্না করে খায় আমাকেও এই জায়গাটা দিয়েছে এবারে এই জন্য আমি করেছিলাম বাড়ি করব বলে আলাদাভাবে এই জন্য প্রধানমন্ত্রী আবাস যোজনা একটাই করেছিলাম
It was a similar picture at the Das residence.
In Haldia, this is another house behind me, as you can see, the house of Ratan Chandra Das, who's one of the brothers stay here. His name, what we are getting it from these sources here, local people are saying this is the original house. He has another house in somewhere else in East Mednipur, but his name was there in Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana.
আমি ঠিক জানি না তো বলতে পারবো না এবার জিজ্ঞাসা করতে হবে আমার রতন চন্দ্র দাস যে আমার দাদা হয় জিজ্ঞেস করতে হবে
এখন যা ব্যবসার অবস্থা মানে মিষ্টি দোকান কি মানে ওই পয়সাতে খাওয়ার মতো হবে না এখন যা ব্যবসার পরিস্থিতি হ্যাঁ যদি ঘর না থাকে তার থাকার মতো জায়গা করতে হবে
Those who are eligible for the scheme say they are missing out due to politics. Protests broke out in West Mednipur and Cooch Behar after anger over alleged corruption in the beneficiary list. With Panchayat polls coming up, the issue has become the latest flashpoint between the TMC and the BJP.
We are with the people of Bengal. We are with the poorest of the poor in Bengal who deserve to be given funds to build their homes and not to people who owe their allegiance to the TMC. We are also going to challenge the matter in the court.
Thorough inspection is taking place at the Panchayat level, and as you know by now, already 17 lakhs names have been deleted. Our government is absolutely dedicated, and that's why thorough investigation is taking place.
We are standing in East Mednipur. Here, the percentage of deletion of names from Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana till now is more than 35%. This is the scene in other districts. On an average, 10 to 15% deletion is common. TMC government is trying to show that they are cleaning up the system. On the other hand, BJP will make this as an issue in Panchayat polls. But who will really get the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that is to be seen, and in overall how much deletion takes place, that is also to be seen. This is Kamalika Sengupta with Anshuman reporting from Haldia for CNN News 18.
Meanwhile, this is becoming a big issue ahead of Panchayat elections in West Bengal. Anger is also growing on the ground. Those who deserve to be on the Prime Minister Awas Yojana list are fighting for their rights.
ঘরের জন্য আমরা গরিব মানুষ সাধারণ মানুষ একটা ঘরের মধ্যে 4 জন লোক থাকি তাহলে আমরা পারবো না বড় লোকরা পারবো আমরা সরে যাব না আমাদের ঘরের কি করতেই লাগবে তারপরে কারণ আমার নতুন করে আমাদের একটাই অনুরোধ ভিডিও হলো আমাদের বাড়ির চাপ দেখুক যে আমরা পারবো কি পারবো না আদার যাদের নাম আছে তাদেরও দেখুক ঘরে সব আমাদের গ্রামের সব গরিব মহিলাগুলা হচ্ছে ঘরের লিস্টে কোনো নাম নেই আর যেগুলো ছাদের ঘর আছে গাড়ি আছে জায়গা জমি আছে তাদের নামে সব লিস্টে নাম এসছে তার জন্য ওই গরিব মানুষ সব একত্র হয়ে এই ধর্নায় বসেছে
ওই সব ভালো ভালো বড় বড় বাড়িতে যারা বড় বড় বাড়ি তাদের নাম হয়েছে আর গরিবদের কেটে দিয়েছে লিস্টে যেগুলো নাম আসছে সেই নামকে ওরা কেটে দিয়েছে কেটে দিয়ে বড় বড় দুতলা তালা বাড়ি তিনতলা বাড়ি একতলা বাড়ি পাথর লাগানো বাড়ি তাদের হয়েছে
Let's go across to the guest joining us. Shatarupa is joining us from the West Bengal BJP unit. Sanjay Chakrabarti is a TMC supporter. Dr. Ajay Dua is former Secretary, Ministry of Industry and Commerce. Jaideep Majumdar is Associate Editor, Swarajya. I'm going across to Sanjay Chakrabarti first. Sanjay, we are hearing from a lot of these people who feel they are the ones who deserve these houses. ये जो घर हैं, ये बिल्कुल poorest of the poor, बिल्कुल destitute लोगों के लिए हैं, जिनके सर पे अभी छत नहीं है. और जिस तरह की रिपोर्ट्स हमने खुद जाके देखा है, जिस तरह के लोगों का नाम इस लिस्ट में है, उससे तो यही इंडिकेशन होता है कि लोकल लेवल पे भी, मिड लेवल पे भी और सरकार के लेवल पे भी बहुत बड़ा करप्शन हुआ है इस लिस्ट को लेके, इस योजना को लेके। संजय जी, आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं क्या?
अनम्यूट है
जी बोलिए, अब आपकी आवाज आ रही है।
जी। मैंने कहा कि अगर ये आपको लगता है कि ये करप्शन केवल वेस्ट बंगाल में हुआ, तो मैं आपको बता दूं कि ये ऐसा करप्शन जो है पूरे इंडिया में है। तो ये वेस्ट बंगाल कोई इकलौता राज्य नहीं है जहाँ पे इस टाइप का करप्शन हुआ है। मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ कि यही प्रयागराज में लगभग 149 लोग ऐसे हैं जिनकी डेथ हो चुकी है, जिनका नाम जो है कहीं से भी नहीं है किसी भी तरीके से।
ठीक है।
और डेथ हो चुकी है, उनके नाम पे जो है रजिस्टर्ड किया हुआ है मकान को।
ठीक है।
तो ये करप्शन हर जगह पे है, हर डिपार्टमेंट में है।
बट संजय जी, 149 नाम और 17 लाख फ्रॉड नाम, इसमें फर्क होता है ना। बिसाइड्स संजय जी, करप्शन का एक्सक्यूज कभी ये नहीं हो सकता कि बाकी लोग भी कर रहे हैं करप्शन।
नहीं, मैं केवल आपको एक शहर में और केवल सिर्फ और सिर्फ जिनकी डेथ हो चुकी है, मैं उनके बारे में आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ। मैं उनके बारे में बात ही नहीं कर रहा हूँ जो और अदर करप्शन है। मैं कह रहा हूँ 149 लोग जो इस दुनिया में नहीं है, उनके नाम पे मकान अलॉट किया गया हुआ है। कि ये करप्शन जो है केवल और केवल सिर्फ और सिर्फ पश्चिम बंगाल में ही क्यों दिखता है, दूसरे राज्यों में क्यों नहीं दिखता है?
दूसरे राज्यों में भी दिखेगा, वो सामने आएगा। लेकिन अभी तो वेस्ट बंगाल की बात करें ना, बाकी राज्यों में क्या हो रहा है वहां तो टीएमसी का कोई लेना देना नहीं है। टीएमसी की सरकार वेस्ट बंगाल में चल रही है, ममता बनर्जी बोलती है 0 टॉलरेंस टू करप्शन, उनके अंडर हो रहा है। तो आप उसका जवाब दीजिए ना, बाकी सरकार क्या कर रही है वो उनकी जनता पूछेगी ना।
देखिए, पहली बात तो ये है कि अगर इस तरह के कोई करप्शन किसी तरीके से सामने आया भी हुआ होगा, इसकी पूरी तरीके से जांच की होगी, दूध का दूध पानी का पानी किया जाएगा। ऐसा कुछ नहीं है किसी भी तरीके से 0 टॉलरेंस। आपने यहाँ देखा होगा हमारे यहाँ पे इमीडिएट जो है, जैसे पार्को चटर्जी के बारे में आपने देखा होगा, हम लोगों ने तुरंत पार्टी से निकाल दिया, तुरंत जो है एक्शन लिया गया उसके ऊपर और उनके मंत्री पद भी उनको छीन लिया गया। हमारे यहाँ पर 0 टॉलरेंस है और रहेगा हमेशा।
शतरूपा, the TMC is also saying that they've deleted 17 lakh of those names. So what is the problem now? They've accepted the error.
Shivani, first of all, it's a pleasure to be in Delhi and to be on your show.
Thank you.
And I would especially like to take 10 seconds to thank Kamalika Sengupta for this fantastic report that she's prepared from West Bengal, specifically East Mednipur. Coming back to what Sanjay ji was saying, it's all very well. Like I said, it's fantastic weather in Delhi. It's very nice weather to go on political tourism all over India. But it's also very nice to keep on focusing on your own state. This state of West Bengal, under the rule of Trinamool for the last 11 years, have taken corruption to an all-time low. And when I say an all-time low, I would like to reiterate this, because they had come with a promise of zero corruption. They wanted to change the 34 years of left rule. But when they come and they scream themselves hoarse only on television, even on national television, that they have a zero tolerance policy as far as corruption is concerned, this is what they keep on doing. They have taken corruption to an all-level low. They have been, to get Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, to get your name enlisted, the one and only qualification you need to have is to be a Trinamool Karyakarta, not even an ordinary Karyakarta. Mind you, what Kamalika has presented is something that I myself have been trying to say all over regional television. I think yours is the first channel which is doing this on a national level. And I would really like to thank you. We've been screaming ourselves hoarse about this, that Trinamool Karyakartas have got 2 houses, 3 houses. There's one channel I was representing where somebody said, I have 2 sons, so therefore I have to have 2 houses. And she's very proud about the fact. You know very well
Under
that
this
there is
yojana,
very recently an entire
this yojana is for the absolute poor.
Poorest of the poor.
Yeah.
This is way below the poverty line. This is targeted for people who can't even dream of having a house. This is the Pradhan Mantri's, Honorable Prime Minister's dream that every single person in India, no matter how poor the person is, will have a roof over the person's head. This is what Trinamool has been doing in West Bengal. Just one of the things that
Shatarupa, how would you respond to
they have been allocating this.
How would you respond to, for example, the TMC supporter on today's show, and we've been discussing this through the day. They are saying that this is happening in virtually every other state. Why are you singling out West Bengal?
No, please show me. Please show me the data and please tell me where it is happening in the other states. then I'm willing to respond. You give me solid data. It is no point Trinamool, once again I'm saying, it's no point Trinamool going on political tourism and touring the whole of India, because they don't have a choice. They don't have any political presence anywhere in India except West Bengal, which is also going to fizzle out very soon. However, if they want to travel all over India, they are most welcome.
Okay.
They should then
Can I go
look
across to
at the way
Jaideep?
the other BJP
Can I go across to
state
Jaideep
governments are
Mazumdar,
functioning.
who's raising his finger? Yes, Jaideep, you wanted to come in?
There are few things out here. See, it's pointless saying that it's happening in all of the states. This discussion is about in West Bengal, and if the Trinamool has evidence of it happening in other states, it's most welcome to present that evidence. Hawa mein baat nahi chalti hai. Number two, this has been happening in West Bengal. Corruption in each and every scheme has been happening in West Bengal under the Trinamool rule. If we remember, during Amphan, even cyclone relief, there was a cyclone called Amphan, and even in that relief, there was a huge lot of corruption. Tripal chor, tarpaulin ka chori kiya gaya, Trinamool leaders, functionaries at the ground level, that had become a big issue in West Bengal. As far as the Trinamool leadership now trying to distance itself from this ground level corruption and anomalies which have happened, I asked them, in a state like West Bengal, we stay in West Bengal, we know very well that not a leaf can move without Mamata Banerjee's nod. How come this has happened under her watch? Is she incompetent? Either she is incompetent or she is complicit.
Okay.
Either of the two, and that's why she's guilty.
No, that is exactly the argument that was made during the Partha Chatterjee, case as well, because that was a minister right in the cabinet. But I want to go across to Dr. Ajay Dua to understand exactly this. This level, there are so many new benchmarks that have been created for the schemes. In a lot of cases, it's direct benefit transfer. And even for the Awas Yojana, there are many, steps and checks and balances in place. And yet, such massive corruption has taken place. Do you believe this could have been the handiwork only of workers on the ground, of the panchayati heads and village heads and some local officers, or this cannot be perpetuated without the knowledge of higher officials?
Shivani, thank you for having me on your show. I'm happy to explain that under the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana, it has two components, Grameen and the urban. The benchmarks are somewhat different, but it would be right to say, as has been said by a fellow panelists and you, that this scheme is meant for people who are at the bottom of the rank, defined as 12 lakh rupees household income annual. That is 1 lakh rupee annual monthly income of the household, not individual. Under both the schemes, the eligibility criteria has been laid. In the case of Grameen scheme, there is a further criteria that the name should appear in the socio-economic and caste census which was conducted in 2011 all over the country, especially, and all the rural areas were covered, and deprivation with respect to housing fully indicated there. Who are the people who do not have a pakka house, and define what's a pakka house, whether it's this, and in addition, of course, people who are absolutely houseless. There are many people even now. So the eligibility criteria was that the states, the local setup of the state governments, that's the district authorities and those below, would pick up people only in the rural areas, only who figure in the deprivation list of this caste census. Data came out much later, though it was conducted in 2011, but in good time, because the urban scheme was launched in 2015, 1st April, and the rural scheme on 1st April 2016, a year later. And of course, we all know that prior to this, from 1985 onwards, there was an Indira Gandhi Awas Yojana, which had with all its faults, etc., it had continued till It was replaced by the urban and the rural.
Yeah.
rural
Dr.
street.
Dua,
In the
because I have
beginning-
limited time, I want to ask you one more time. As a
please.
a high-placed functionary and bureaucrat, do you believe this level of corruption that is coming to light from West Bengal and its beneficiaries list can happen just at the local level, or there has to be connivance at the top level?
If it is such large scale, that deletion of 17 lakh, 1.7 million people has taken place when there were an outcry, then certainly it cannot be limited to people only at the village level or even I would say the taluka, tehsil or the district level. There's certainly involvement of people higher up in the scheme of things, maybe government authorities, maybe party authorities, and we all do know that in West Bengal, the party, the party officials call the shots at almost all the levels.
This is exactly why, Sanjay, this is so damning for the TMC, because we already know about West Bengal culture of cut money, etc. It may have not impacted the last assembly elections result, but Sanjay ji, कब तक ममता बनर्जी ये बोलती रहेंगी कि करप्शन अगर हुआ है तो किसी और के हाथ से हुआ है, मेरी जिम्मेदारी नहीं बनती? चीफ मिनिस्टर तो वही है ना, उनके अंडर हो रहा है तो उनकी जिम्मेदारी बनती है।
पहली बात तो उनकी जिम्मेदारी क्यों नहीं बनती है, ये तो आप अच्छी तरह जानते हैं। जब भी ऐसी कोई करप्शन के बारे में जब भी पता चला है, हम लोगों ने तुरंत उसके ऊपर एक्शन लिया है। ऐसा नहीं कि एक्शन नहीं लिया गया है, हमेशा एक्शन लिया गया है और हमेशा जो है उसको हम लोगों ने देखा है उस चीज को कि उसको किस तरीके से हम ऑपरेट करें। करप्शन, मैं फिर वही बता रहा हूँ, वेस्ट बंगाल का करप्शन ही क्यों दिखता है हमेशा? करप्शन तो पूरे इंडिया में फैला हुआ है, किस जगह पे करप्शन नहीं है? अभी आपने देखा मौलवी का पुल गिरा हुआ था,
नहीं है ना?
मौलवी का पुल अभी आपने देखा था जो गिरा था, जिसमें 135 लोगों की जान चली गई। उसका क्या कौन सा एक्शन हुआ? सिर्फ और सिर्फ 12 लाख रुपए खर्चा हुआ 2 करोड़ में से। 1 करोड़ 88 लाख का कोई जो इतना बड़ा करप्शन हुआ, 135
वो तो प्राइवेट कंपनी के हाथ में था, ये तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम है, ये तो सरकार स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम है। Yes, Jaideep, what do you want to say very quickly? I have to give Shatarupa the final word as well.
This whataboutery of the Trinamool does not gel. This is not acceptable. That corruption happened in Morbi or some other Falana Tikana place, and so there's nothing wrong in corruption happening out here. This doesn't cut any ice with the people of West Bengal. I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah, Shatarupa.
Yeah, thank you, Shivani. I just want to take just very short time. I want to take a thread from Jaideep Majumdar as well as Dr. Dua, that yes, corruption in West Bengal happens with quote unquote anuprerona of the Honorable Chief Minister. Everything that is placated everywhere is written under the inspiration of Mamata Banerjee. I would just like to remind you, through you, Sanjay Chakraborty, that does he remember that there's very recently an Asha Kormi who has died? She committed suicide because she couldn't handle the pressures of the top level government. She couldn't face the people who she had to deny because she was not allowed to do the formality of the inquiries because the top level, the panchayat level had told her, and not only her, I mean she's just one example, and she was not allowed to do the proper inquiries. They were given a list, these Asha Kormis were given a list. Asha Kormi, I am sure Shivani you know, is even a lower rank, the lower rung than the Anganwadi workers. They are the lowest possible level, the very ordinary people, they are absolutely on the ground level. They were compelled to commit suicide. Where is Bengal headed? And then we have people like Sanjay Chakraborty, the Trinamool spokespersons, who come and say, no, Trinamool has a zero tolerance to corruption. Then what sort of tolerance are you talking about?
Yes, and at the back of what has happened in the SSC scam, where again, the very ordinary people, their lives were affected. Here, the poorest of the poor, who could get a benefit that they needed so much for a better life, and it's been taken away from them. One wonders how this will impact the politics of West Bengal and whether the government in power today will face questions from the public at large. We're already seeing signs of that emerging. There was a lot of deep-seated anger over the SSC scam. There was a lot of deep-seated anger in this case as well that is coming to light. So you can worry about corruption in other states. Ultimately, the Chief Minister is answerable to the public that she's ruling, in the state that she is ruling. I've run out of time. I do thank all of our guests for joining 100%. Us. We'll continue to track this story very closely. Time for a very short break. On the other side, some more news and updates, especially on the blizzard of the century that has left nearly 50 dead across the USA.
The green signal. So officers are in opinion that as of now, we are working on our capabilities. We should focus on preparedness. And this is what we are seeing from last so many years when India is focusing on Atmanirbharta, when India is focusing on indigenous platforms. And we have seen how in both, Indian Air Force or in Indian Navy for that matter, and Indian Army. So all three forces are working on Atmanirbharta. Yes, it is an important step in terms of preparedness of Indian Army and the armed forces. And, it is very important to give a clear message that, India has now all the capabilities. India has a future-ready force, and also these capabilities where we can, defend our borders, where we can teach you a lesson in case you try something, a sort of invasion or any other thing.
Okay, Akash, stay with us. Major General A.K. Sivaj is also with us on the phone right now. He's a defense expert. Let me go over to him to understand more. General, thank you so much for joining us here at CNN News 18. General, if you could just explain to our audiences in a more detailed manner, what is India's capability right now when it comes to ballistic missiles, and how does the Pralay take us a step further? How does it equip us further?
As far as India ballistic missile capability is concerned, is quite robust. You see, we have series of missiles. We have a Prithvi, which are there from short range till the medium range. Then we have a Agni, which is going up till about 5,000 kilometers, which we have tested, Agni 5. And these are all nuclear capable missiles. But this induction of Pralay is a game changer. Because you see, the issue is it has a range of between 150 to 500. So it is a short range ballistic missile. And the advantage of this is that one is that it cannot be intercepted. Second thing is very difficult to detect. Third thing is the accuracy is almost 99%. And fourth thing is that it can be fired in all type of weather condition as well as night. And that's why it is a game changer. And it is compared to a Iskander missile which Russians are using against Ukraine. But the point is, it is better than that. The fact is that it can't be intercepted and it can fire in all type of weather condition. It gives edge over even Iskander. But all said and done, India is very well prepared. As far as the missile, you can say our life system is concerned and the way we have developed missile, this is creditable starting from Prithvi going up till Pralay, then going to Agni. So you are covering almost from 50 kilometers to almost 5,000 kilometers. And in addition to that, you have also BrahMos. BrahMos is again a nuclear capable missile, which is a joint venture between India and Russia. This is a game changer, force multiplier. A lot of countries have asked for it, Indonesia, Malaysia, South Africa, because that is the best intercontinental ballistic missile is there. But the point is, as far as the Pralay is concerned, it will make tremendous difference. And that's why we are now deploying this on the Chinese border. So the message is very clear as far as Chinese are concerned, that we are well prepared, we have a capability and capacity, and we'll hit you where it hurts you. And not only that, against Chinese, we are also deploying against Pakistani. 120 Pralay missiles have been already given order, and now they will be deployed both northern and western border. So overall, I can say, as far as missile system is concerned, we can say proudly, this is a success story, and majority of it is produced indigenously. Pralay is totally indigenously produced by the country, and it's a matter of pride that it is one of the most potent weapon available in our armory today.
General, if I could ask you, the former Chief of Defence Staff, the late General Bipin Rawat, had this vision for Indian rocket force. And it's known that Pralay will form the crux of that dream. Can you walk our audiences through what General Bipin Rawat's vision was with the rocket force and how Pralay forms a part of that?
You see, the point, what was General Rawat's vision was, he was aware about the capability of the Chinese. The Chinese have a very good rocket force as well as the missile force. So before the war takes place, you'll find it that the Chinese will be using this force, both missile and rocket force, to create a maximum destruction in opponent country. Now to counter that and also to make sure that you
Welcome back. A brutal winter storm has been pounding misery on millions of Americans for the last few days. This now viral video from Iowa shows how an elderly couple was rescued from the jaws of death when they were caught in the middle of the blizzard of the century.
We had someone go off recently.
This is what storm chaser Clarence Smith ran into on Highway 69 near Jewel Friday morning.
Yeah, it's pretty intense right now. I don't know if you can see the telephone wire just shaking like crazy.
A real-life blizzard and a Webster City couple stuck in their car after it slid into the ditch.
We had probably arrived 5 minutes after it happened. So I think we were both lucky, and everyone was lucky they didn't actually hit one of us or anyone else.
An energy company worker was the first on the scene. The two talked about what to do.
I think we should even try pulling them out with all this weather.
The worker told Smith a couple in their 70s were on their way from Webster City to a doctor's appointment in Ames, but the wind and snow was too powerful.
That wind really felt like it was just going to take your legs out from under you.
Smith got out, and the two decided to rescue the stranded driver and his wife and give them a ride since there was a tow ban in place. The wife was first.
I'm not going to help your husband. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And then her